we pause for a second or two. This is episode 179, Speed and Accuracy. Since the Second World War, two words, two concepts have been always in the fashion since then. After the World War, after the Second World War, it is not difficult to see that after the immense losses of human life, that these two terms, speed and accuracy, seemed like the best recipe for always staying ahead, so that never again should we have to go through such a thing. It is an appealing thought to always stay ahead, to always be faster than the competition. And it is also an attractive idea to consider oneself to be accurate, to be precise, that no matter what we set our minds to do, we want to be exact in what we do, more exact than the competition. That's also an appealing concept. At the heart of this is a fear of being the slowest or being the most inaccurate. To be slow and diffuse, slow and vague. And for these 70 or 80 so years, when it comes to the business sector, when it comes to money, as well as when it comes to war, the military, speed and accuracy has been two of the most commonly used words as an ideal, speed and accuracy. And today, if we look at how people in the business sector or war business sector, how they talk, what terms they use, speed and accuracy are just all over the place. Everyone is talking about speed and accuracy. That when it comes to AI, for example, it is often speed and accuracy that people talk about. And when it comes to making money, we talk about speed and accuracy. When we talk about winning wars, we talk about speed and accuracy. It is now deeply embedded in our time. The fear of being the slowest and the fear of being vague. The thing is, if we always strive for speed and accuracy and make them sort of our guiding light, they presuppose that the terms in themselves do not make sense unless we know what we want. If we have high speed and we have a pinpoint accuracy in what we're doing, it only makes sense when we know exactly what we want or exactly what we need. And it also sort of speed and accuracy put together like this also implies that speed and accuracy never sort of works against each other, that they are sort of compatible always. And this gives rise to a lot of confusion. It's a very simplistic way to look at both speed and accuracy, as if they were sort of easily defined entities. What is fast? It's sort of like the fable with the tortoise and the hare. What is really fast? What is speed, actually? It's not that simple to just say, I want speed. It's not one if you ask me what speed is, or if you ask the next person or the third person, we might say completely different things. What speed is, what is fast. And accuracy might be even more complicated to find sort of a clear vision of what constitutes accuracy in the first place. How do we know when we have arrived at what we want or what we need? It is very simplistic and a dangerous way of thinking. It gives rise to a whole lot of tying ourselves in knots, trying to find simplistic solutions to things that are not so conveniently packaged in these neat terms, speed and accuracy. Doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, now, as there is a lot of conflict and a lot of war going on in different places, we become vulnerable to this way of thinking. We want to find quick fix. We want to sort of buy some charismatic solution. And speed and accuracy is one example of such a charismatic solution. Sounds very good. Not only are we fast, but we're also accurate. Sounds very appealing. It's quite unfortunate. And also, when we think about speed, that faster is always better, we miss so much. We miss so much. Nature, people, anything living has different rhythms to it. Like the days and nights coming and going, the ebb and flow. Like women, for example, have their monthly cycle going on. Us men, we have also a cycle in our reproductive organs, how the sort of sperm is created in these waves coming and going. And this is just one example, or a few examples, that anything living is living in this wave pattern, this rhythm, this rhythmic sort of pushing and receding and pushing and receding. And if we only think about speed as always faster is always better, we sort of lose our touch with the rhythms of life. There are many rhythms, countless different rhythms. And life is more about sort of how these rhythms interact. It's more musical. So faster is often worse. Faster is not better. It's about matching rhythms. It's not about striving for speed in all instances. That's how a child would think. As adults, we know that things have their own sort of pulsing, coming and going, and it's about when one entity is ready to meet with another entity. It's about matching up these different rhythms so that they can do something together, so that 1 + 1 can equal 3. That's what it's about. So speed and accuracy is just simply not helpful at all. It just confuses us and makes us lose touch with all the different rhythms of our bodies firsthand, and then in extension the dynamics between us and our surroundings. It's just unfortunate. The Polaroid for today's episode is one of the 5 goals of our pause framework of emotional skills. It is the goal for our worn out situation, when we feel worn out. The goal called SYMMETRY. And symmetry is one way of expressing this sort of a matching process that we just talked about. This sort of when we have this musical sense to life, that everything is coming and going in rhythms, in these waves. And when we have symmetry between us, let's say you and me, or you and me and our context, when we have symmetry, then these rhythms sort of are listening to each other and sort of flowing together so that they may do something together. And when we have symmetry, when we have this sort of matching of natural rhythms, then work feels effortless. Then we may work a lot and not get that tired at all, actually. Might even just feel mostly inspired by it. But instead, today's episode being called Speed and Accuracy, if we only pursue top speed at all times, we will just be completely drained, completely worn out by the work we do. A lot of the people now preaching speed at all costs, they will burn out in one way or another, or they will wear out their families or the people they live with. Because if we only pursue speed, then the rhythms will be out of whack. They will not match up. And for every rhythm not matching up musically, that they are not really attuned to each other, for every time that is the case, there is this sort of friction going on. There's like these clashes and collisions going on. And for every collision, we are worn down a little, worn out a little. And it accumulates, so it sort of piles up. And we have collision upon collision upon collision. And all these rhythms not matching up. After some accumulated time, we are worn out. It's not realistic. It is a childish way of thinking. Our worn out situation is, I feel, perhaps our most difficult situation to address. And I think that is because we are so out of tune with our rhythms right now in this time. That it's really painful to think about this situation, our worn out situation. It's painful to think about all these rhythms that we neglect, because we may often find ourselves very far from where we are supposed to be. It's difficult to think about. I have found, as I make these episodes, that often I dread making these episodes about our worn out situation. They are so relevant to our time that they are not very fun to do. They are too relevant. And there are not that many voices speaking about it, so us here and now, you and me thinking about it right now, it is easy to feel lonely and that not many people are in tune with it for the moment. That will change, but not right now. Not right now. And that is one point why we keep making these episodes about our worn out situation, because just because most people do not think about these rhythms anymore, these natural rhythms to our bodies, does not mean that they go away. They are still there. We have all these sort of pulses going through our bodies, and they are very much there. Like the pulse of my heart right now has one pulse. The pulse of my thinking, the pulse of my talking, the pulse of my intestines, my stomach, the pulse of my muscles. There are all these kind of rhythms going on all at the same time. Very musical, but not many people think about that right now. Now it's more fashionable to think about speed and accuracy at all costs. When it comes to technology, AI, business, and war. These areas. So we will see what consequences there are from thinking so much in terms of speed and accuracy, instead of thinking in terms of natural rhythms and sort of symmetry and matchmaking. We will see. That's it for today. Thank you.